When you write a song, when you're choosing a film role, when you craft a performance, how concerned are you with how it'll have an impact on your legacy and I guess just what the name Lady Gaga means?
It's a great question, actually. Thank you, Jake.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Lady Gaga, so good to see you again. How are you?
Hey, Jake. Nice to see you. How you feeling?
I'm doing so well. You were unbelievable in this, and I love you, and I wish we were in person, but I really appreciate you fitting me into your schedule. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I'm going to jump into this. Throughout the film, the Gucci family, they're so obsessed with their legacy and their brand and what their name represents and how it's going to go down in history. I'm sort of curious, as an artist, if that's something that you're at all concerned with. When you write a song, when you're choosing a film role, when you craft a performance, how concerned are you with how it'll have an impact on your legacy and I guess just what the name Lady Gaga means?
I would say it's a great question, actually. Thank you, Jake. I would say that I think about it less as a brand. Myself, I don't think about myself as a brand. I think about myself as a person, as a human being, and as an artist. But I do recognize the platform that I'm on. So I think that the essential piece, as the answer to your question, is I always try to do things that I think will have a meaningful impact on the world and that ultimately have a good heart. So even, playing a murderer in House of Gucci, it was important to me that I understood very early on that this woman was very in love and that she made a huge mistake. And where was the humanity in the character, and what parts of her were like women in this world, and in what ways are women disposed of when they lose their looks, or in what ways are women ignored and put down because they think that they're smart, and we are smart and we have something to say, but we are systemically pushed down by the oppression of patriarchy. And you see that in this film. So for me, it's less on brand, and it's more what do I believe in.
That's brilliant. I love that. I truly think I'm a huge Ridley Scott fan, and I think he is the master of putting true stories on the big screen. You look at this film, Last Duel, American Gangster, Black Hawk Down. If he were to make a movie about your life, if he wanted to make like House of Gaga, what is the period of your life that would make for the most interesting movie?
Oh my goodness. I think that there are a lot of times in my life where it was a wild ride and interesting in different ways. I guess what I would say is I think it depends on who the director is, and I think it depends on what story you want to tell. But I have to say that, my manager, Bobby Campbell, made a documentary about me called 5'2" that I had nothing to do with. And I will say that, at that time in my life was really complex, and I trusted him to make something that was powerful, because I believe in him and his ability to support women and make art. So I think lots of different times in my life. I mean, in some ways, me as a kid could have been really interesting, but I think it depends on what story you want to tell. Lots has happened.
I was at the Super Bowl in Houston when you jumped off like the ceiling. I saw that in person and I thought like she's an action star. So you could even start there. I know we don't have much time left. So much of this film represents the power of fashion and what it can do to us as a person. I'm curious what impact just clothing has on you when you're on set as an actor, when you're on stage performing. What influence does what you're wearing in a moment have on you and your ability to perform?
The way that fashion impacts me as a musician is really different than the way that it impacts me as an actor. So what I would say is, in relation to House of Gucci, building the soul of an art of a character is I think an art form, and I think it's the most essential piece, and that the fashion should be something that is truly a part of the character, and never. And I'm very, very particular about this, because I think sometimes art direction and fashion can become very distracting when watching a film or a TV show. When I played Patrizia, I only wore things that she really would have worn. and I only wore them in the way she would have worn them, meaning if I wore something that was from the 70s, I wore it in the way that it would have been worn by her, and I never tried to elevate anything just for the nature of it looking beautiful.
Seriously, your performance is phenomenal. Lady Gaga, I love you. My dog over there, she loves you. Seriously, we all love you. So seriously, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know you have a very
Thank
busy
you so much.
schedule.
I'm so sorry for
No,
coughing.
it's right. It was an
choking
emotional
on my
interview.
own
I got you all
answer.
choked up. No, you're totally fine. It's good to see you again. I hope to see you again in person.
Thank you so much, Jake.
All right, take-
Where we're going, we don't need roads.